Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling, and shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where we'll be relaxing as per usual. And you know what? While I'm here, why not do the thumbnail art while I'm at it? And by do the thumbnail art, I mean I'm not actually actively working on it. I'll work on it, finishing it off afterwards. But actually just making the temporary one for today, which I showed off in higher resolution on today's stream if you want to catch that. I did that because I'm basically very curious about how easy it is to sort of basically discern information from this blurred thumbnail art. But good evening everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow it's 10:22 PM on Saturday, March 28th, 2026. Visit our campsite. I don't know who it's going to be. I predict it's going to be, let me think, I'm going to channel my energy, see what I see in my mind's eye. I don't know what I'm doing. I think it's going to be, I'm feeling hippo for some reason. I'm thinking it's going to be Bitty. Now, one of these days I'm going to get this 1 in 400 shot correct, and it's going to be absolutely monumental, and it's going to have no bearing whatsoever because the Fawnhallow residents have been solidified. Like my heart of stone. It's I know you. Hold on. I know your name. No, I can't think of it. Rod. To be fair, okay. To give myself some credit, I was thinking something about our direction. I didn't say out loud though, so I know I collect no credit for that except for internal credit. But I kept thinking like Rooney, and I was like, that's not Rooney. Like I was Rodney, I guess, but I was someone else entirely. But anyway, but yeah, I'm very curious. Basically, like if you're curious at all about me, well, I guess if you're here, you've probably seen me Animal Crossing thumbnail art, the blurred version, which you can see is very tiny, I suppose, on YouTube thumbnail. But also, if you right-click YouTube videos and I can't remember, you have to click something to see the thumbnail art or whatever. You can see what the blurred version looks like. I'm very, very curious of like, what do you think you can discern from it, essentially? Because obviously I've been working on it the entire time for, well, 2 years technically. And it's, I can see all the shapes exactly clearly. I know exactly what everything is, but I'm very curious about what someone who doesn't know what the thumbnail art is thinks each of the shapes are. And so I showed it on stream just to sort of see if like people can make anything out, but honestly it's pretty difficult is what I've gathered, despite the fact that I'm like, there's some shapes you can see here if you like think about, like you can see Lily, in my opinion, very clearly in it because she has a very distinctive pattern. In my opinion, you can also kind of see Amelia because of her very distinctive face color, and I think one of my friends said Audie is also kind of visible through the blur, and I think Rowan is kind of like visible as well because it's, despite the fact that his color is also kind of shared with Biscuit and some others, it's also kind of visible, but the entire middle blob is very like difficult to discern any information from. Like I will say for now, like I know where Vivian is in the drawing. I find it really difficult to see Vivian in this drawing in the blurred version. I can just about make out everyone else to different levels of telling, but Vivian and Raymond are very difficult to see. But yeah, what else am I going to talk about? I don't know. I guess we could talk about blurring. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna say about blurring, mind you, but there's probably something in there. I don't know. But yeah. We did another stream today. We finished off thumbnail art for March. It's a very nice thumbnail art, I will say. It's probably up there for one of my favourites. I feel like I say it every time, but every time a new one comes in, I'm just like, ooh, this one's actually my new favourite, or this one's become one of my favourites. I think it's very rarely have I drawn one and been like, this is not like my new favourite, because I think when you work on something, that fresh feeling of working on something new is always very exciting. Okay, to be fair, the January one wasn't my favourite. It didn't quite stick the landing, I think. But like, maybe it's not all of them. Like this one is really, like this March one is really lovely, I will say. The February one, I love the vibe of it. Mainly because of a backstory which was built up behind it. I think the November one the October one I really loved, and so I loved the September one as well. So I'm not sure if I loved the July one as much. I think I did kind of. The May one's really good. The March one is fantastic. The other March one. Like, I remember liking a Valentine's one and a Christmas one. I'm like, oh, you know what? Yeah, it was like a lot of good ones in a row. I did come out swinging, I think, on my first March one. I can't believe that was 2 years ago now. Oh my gosh, that was 2 years ago. I did my first stream on March 2024. And now I've done it for 2 years. It's genuinely incredible. And half that time has been blueprints. Can you imagine? Anyway. What was I gonna say? I don't remember today. It's an awful rhyme. But it's also something I've done before. Like, I did it last year. With blurring thumbnail arts. Because I hadn't finished it at that time, I think. Like, I think I was using a temporary one, and for April Fools, I put up like a very blurry version of it, unfinished, the camping one. That's what I remember. I don't know what I'm going to do for April Fools this year, now I think about it. Hard to do anything for, because it falls on a Wednesday, which is going to be a maybe D&D. Yeah, well, certainly it's going to be a D&D session. But yeah. I don't know, but there's a power of a Gaussian blur to really do things. It's a very powerful, I suppose, a special effect to put on any... I was going to say item. Item's not really the right word, but I wanted to use on any image. What else am I going to talk about? How are my gacha games going? Uma Musume, I've still not... Like, I had a pretty good run with Kita-san Black today. Had long at dodging danger, prudent positioning. But then I realised at the end, I was like, oh, she doesn't have nearly enough stamina with just 1 gold recovery of a course. As I found out, you need a lot of stamina. And while it's fine on Valentine Bourbon, who has a recovery built into a unique, and taking Moxie, in this one I didn't get Moxie. The only other recovery I got, which would have been applicable, was, what was it? Like, it's not called still breathing. It's the one which slows you down and then recovers your health. And I was like, that's basically a death sentence on front runners. So that kind of sucked. So I've tried them. Like, none of them have won yet in the public rooms, which probably means that they're good enough to get to the finals, but probably not good enough to win the finals. That's okay. I still got 2 days. I basically just need to make good enough front runners. And then when Sane Sky Ballroom comes out, I will make a 3rd front runner. And then just put all my eggs in one basket. My Narita Taishin is just, like, fine enough. She's not that good, but she doesn't need to be that good. She just needs to hit the stats, and she just needs to have straightaways, and that's good enough. But anyway. So yeah, it's just like me doing a little bit of Uma Musume runs, trying to get that going. I don't think anything's crazy happening on any of the Hoyoverse games. I haven't tried the new Star Rail main quest. Oh, what did happen in a game... Pokemon TCG Pocket, a game I don't really play, but I do open the cards and packs for. I managed to finally get a God Pack. A God Pack being a pack you open and basically every card is a rare card of some variety. I finally opened one on this latest pack, which has 2 rainbow rares, of which I only owned one. I already owned one, but it was actually pretty good. God Pack, mind you, because I got the crown card, the Medical Barrier. I got the Immersive card from Mew, not the shiny version, just the regular version. I got a 1-star card, which apparently I didn't have before, but... Oh, because it was new, probably because I pulled it in the same pack, in the same set of 10. But I got the Miltank 1-star, which is one I hadn't got, and I got the 2 stars of Mega Slowbro EX and Mega Gengar EX. Now... if I had been given a choice, would I have preferred it on a different pack to get some different immersives? Maybe. But I'm not going to complain the fact I got 5 different new cards. And the fact I even got one in the first place. Things don't have to be perfection for them to be appreciated. Nor do things have to be... Nor is it unreasonable to be like, there is still room for things to go. Even when things are pretty good. Let's see, have I got enough stamina again to open another pack? Yes, I'm opening the new packs. I'm trying to complete it just so I can get the the wonder picks, the 24-hour wonder picks. I'm pretty close now. I think I'm like 7 away. And the ones I'm missing are two EXs, which are not that crazy, and then one 1-star, which should be pretty easy. As soon as I see it in a wonder pick. Oh, this person got 2 wonder picks in one. 2 EXs in one. Unfortunately, I already got. Unfortunately, it's already timed out. I could use an hourglass, but there is no need. But yeah. So that was exciting to get that lucky. What am I talking about? Oh yeah, we're talking about the blur effect. I will say, I do use a lot of blur, normally motion blur, in VR work I do. If I need a sense of motion, then obviously motion blur. If anyone's got me, motion blur got me. But yeah, is that always the case? No, probably not. Do I use it more often than I don't use it? No, I don't think that could possibly even be true, mind you, but yeah. It's just a sort of great tool, I suppose. You know what's also interesting though, is the fact that blurs are not so foolproof nowadays, right? Because apparently it's the sort of thing where you can actually unblur something that has been blurred with Gaussian blur, mainly because it's like a not totally destructive method or something. Because I remember I was seeing, like, I watched a video of someone basically being set a challenge to be like, hey, okay, I put like some, like, I don't know, digital code or something on the screen. If you unblur it, you'll get like $100 or something. I can't remember what it was for. It was something like that. And then he set that as a challenge, and then someone did it like pretty quickly. And they used, I can't remember what on earth the method they used was. That was genuinely fascinating. And then they tried it again with something else, but they tried something which was a very destructive censoring method, which was basically like pixelation. Because what blur does, I guess, it just sort of like smooths all the edges out. So like all the pixels just basically take an average color of all the pixels surrounding them. That's how I assume it works. I'm not actually sure, mind you. Well, pixelation, it actually just sort of like conglomerate, like some of the pixels just come together and it takes the average color of all of them. So it basically lowers the resolution. But then they were still able to actually get it, not in every case, depends on to what scale it was done. But for scales where it was not done to like a very high resolution, like, yeah, you were still able to decode what was underneath the censoring. And I was like, that's fascinating. So then the conclusion I remember from my video was basically like, if you want to block out sensitive information, just you gotta just use a solid bar over the type of entire thing. Now, I suppose maybe some more recent historical events may lead you to believe that not to be the case, but that I think is much more due to, let's say, technological incompetence in some way. But I'm not going to dwell on that any further because I don't think that's something which I'm going to dive into on these Animal Crossing episodes. I wonder if I can find that video again. But it was like reversing blur images, and I was just like, that's absolutely fascinating. There's some sort of like digital forensics in there, I think. Reversing blurring images. It's easier to decensor videos, is that it? How blurs and filters work. I think that's where I learned how a blur worked. Censor text removed. Is this it? I actually think this is it, because this one is from 5 years ago. Short video. Or maybe it's this one, unblurring password? I don't know. It genuinely was absolutely fascinating, that. Yeah. But that it's even possible in the first place. It's by sensor click, is this it? If I can recover pixelized text. Or recover lost, but in theory it should work on the other side. Was this it? I don't know. I don't know if it was this, but this is like the general idea. But yeah, I find that absolutely fascinating in a very, very scary way, you know? Oh, that's why. Despite the fact that mosaic blurring, that's apparently what it's called. is actually quite destructive. You can't like recreate an image from it, but you can recreate text from it because text can only be blurred from so many things, right? It can only be certain characters, some letters. And then you can sort of match and blur it, I guess. Is that how it works? It's enough to get some sort of information out of it, but probably not enough to do anything. I don't think this is a video I watched. Because the video I watched was someone was like, they don't really put, maybe it was this one. Was it 1 year ago? I thought it was more than 1 year ago. But yeah. It's such a fascinating thing, I suppose. The fact that something so destructive, like intentionally destructive for our images, is even remotely reversible in any way, shape or form, you know? It's, I don't know. I guess, yeah, the best way to get rid of something is to just delete it entirely, to be honest. Which is also a weird thing, because I always feel like it's like in news reports or things, like when they do like live interview, they want to keep someone anonymous. It's very commonly they just sort of like blur someone's face out. But the fact that it's like reversible kind of makes it like, I mean, I guess it's kind of for the average person, because the average person is not going to go around like unblurring people's faces, because that's weird to tell you the truth. But I guess it's also like the average person is not really who you would be worried about necessarily doing it, right? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a very strange thing. I guess also like in those anonymous interviews, they often just like black out the entire person, right? Or just like they're off screen and it's just their voices. But then now it makes me also think there's voice modifiers as well, right? Like those could also probably be reversed, can't they? It's kind of weird. I guess it's kind of like having a padlock on your bike, right? Like, if a bike thief wanted to steal your bike, there's basically nothing you can really do about it if you want to leave it out in public, locked in public. Like, because they can do numerous things. They could like saw off your bike. They could, I mean, as long as there's a weak point, you know, it could be the bike itself, could be the lock itself, could be someone else. Maybe like you can pick the lock, maybe you can't. Maybe they could even saw off the actual bike stop itself. I don't know. Either way, if someone truly genuinely wanted your bike, they could steal your bike. But it's kind of there as a deterrent for most people, you know, the opportunistic thieves, right? That's how I've always understood it. Is that like you don't get a bike thief to be like, I know it's going to 100% secure my bike. You do it so that like people won't see, oh, unlocked bike, I guess I'll take that. And I don't know. I feel like this blowing thing is kind of like the same thing that I think of it. It's like a digital lock in a sort of way. It's kind of, I don't know. Technology is both an amazing thing and can be the scariest thing at the same time. I think is probably what I'd say. Anyway, on that note, I think I'll round this episode off here. So, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been dear darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.